Dr. Omorege Iyobosa, our doc. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. I'm back. I'd like to recognize very specially Dr. Mrs. Caroline Umokoro. Thank you so much. Professor Mrs. Caroline Umokoro. Please, can we put our hands together? Olomukoro. Thank you. All right. There's something we do usually in our activities, in our events. It's a way of encouraging those who attend and are on time. So we're going to be doing it again, pending when others come. I see our PhD student, Mr. Jato. Please, can we celebrate him? He's a PhD student at the Center for Gender Studies, University of Uri. Mr. Jato, please come forward. Why are you staying down? Come forward. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You know, usually at our events, we do what we call fastest fingers. So I know almost everyone here in this auditorium, you are with your phones and you use either MTN Airtel, or Glo. So, courtesy Center for Gender Studies and Adesua Africa Charitable Foundation, they have graciously provided recharge cards for participants at this conference. So we're going to be calling these recharge cards, randomly in the course of the conference. But I'll start now. So I want everybody to bring out your phones. You have your phones here with you. First, I'll call MTN users. MTN users, and the amount is 500 naira. So I'm going to call for this first round. I'm going to call MTN, Glo, and Airtel. And as the conference progresses, we'll come back again. So MTN users, are you ready? Are you sure? Okay. Fastest fingers for MTN users. Going. 922 58771 1483 98065. MTN. If you load the card, just let us know. Oh, we have a fast finger there. Okay. So what do you say to Center for Gender Studies and Adesua Africa Charitable Foundation? Get up and tell us. All right, let's put our hands together for her. Okay, she just got MTN 500 naira. Do we have Airtel users around? Do we have, how many of us use Airtel? Oh, there are very few. Okay, now let's go to Airtel. Let's see. All right, Airtel. Are we ready? I'm sure by now you've already entered your PIN code, right? So let's go. Airtel users. 1431 1523 2346 7905. Anybody? Airtel user? Airtel user? Airtel user? Are you here? Did anybody get it? Airtel 500. Anybody? You got it. Oh, yes. Camera, please pan to him. What do you have to say to us? Hi, thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Now let's go to Glo. Glo users, are we in the building? Any Glo user around? Okay. Glo users. All right. Glo users, are we ready? Now let's go. 71336 07329 32044. Glo 500 naira. Anybody? Oh, congratulations. Come on, let's see that. Okay, congrats. Okay. I like the smile on your face. I hope you're going to keep that smile. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I've just been informed that the VC is around. So please, as soon as this VC steps in, we'll all rise to usher him in. And then I have more cards of all the networks, of the 3 networks, to still go around. So keep your phones by your side. If you did not get it in this first round, the rest assured you will get it in the next round. And for those who already got my card, please allow those who have not gotten to get the card, okay? So please, thank you so much. Mr. McDonald, please. All right. finally, Dr. Mrs. Siri Obiebo, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize Dr. Felicita Smallwood. Thank you for coming around. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Vice Chancellor walking into this auditorium. Please, can we arise? Can we arise as we receive and welcome the Vice Chancellor of the Great University of Benin? He is Professor Adoba Bright Omoyegi, Advocate of Nigeria, represented here at this conference today by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Professor Osubo. Accompanying him, we have the boss of the University of Benin, Mr. Thank you so much, Mr. McDonald. Please, while we remain standing, we'll take the national anthem and the Uniben anthem. Be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege this morning to warmly welcome you to our great university, University of Benin, one of the most sought-after university in the South and in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gender and Sustainable Cultural Practices Conference, organized by the Center for Gender Studies, University of Benin, in collaboration with Adesua Africa Charitable Foundation. Today promises to be insightful, engaging, and most importantly, impactful. I am Ehisume Iriamiatoy, a Senior Assistant Registrar at the Center for Gender Studies, University of Benin, and it is my honor to be the compere for today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very privileged to have in our midst this morning the Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, Professor Adoba Bright Omoyegi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Is ably represented here by no lesser person than the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, a professor, a reputable scholar. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcome Professor Christopher Osubo. We have also with him another senior management member, the bossa of the University of Benin, Mr. Saige Osifo. Please, can we put our hands together for him? We have also the host of this event, the one who has worked day and night tirelessly to ensure that this event holds. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome my boss, the Director, Center for Gender Studies, University of Benin, Professor Lucy Okupo. Representing our partner for this conference, the Adesuwa Africa Charitable Foundation, who is the founder is Mrs. Adesuwa Ihie. She is the founder and managing partner at Adesuwa Africa Charitable Foundation. She's represented here today by Dr. Shola Okunkpolo. You're welcome, ma'am. Seated close to the Director, Center for Gender Studies, is the Head of Administration at the Center for Gender Studies, University of Benin, Mrs. Dorothy Akanen. Please, I'd like to reintroduce our special guests in the building this morning, representing Mrs. Adesuwa. She is Dr. Mrs. Shola Okunkpolo. Please, can we put our hands together for her? With the kind permission of Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I'd like to recognize very specially all lecturers of the University of Benin here present. Can we put our hands together for them? We have professors here, we have doctors here, we have staff of the University of Benin, staff of the Center for Gender Studies. We have seated here this morning are young and the future of Nigeria. We have students of Sacred Heart High School, Erokun, Benin City. You're all welcome. Thank you. Great Univen students, are you here? Great Univen students. You're very, very warmly welcome. Please, can you put your hands together for yourselves? Done all the recognitions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to bring to the microphone for the welcome address the Director, Center for Gender Studies, University of Benin, Professor Mrs. Lucy Okupo. Please, can we put our hands
together? The Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by the DVC admin, Professor Christopher Osumbo. You are welcome, sir. The Bossa of the Great University of Benin, Mr. Osifo. You are welcome, sir. Distinguished guests, members of staff of the University of Benin, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all and welcome to this conference. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the Gender and Sustainable Cultural Practices Conference. I commend the Center for Gender Studies for organizing this timely and important event in collaboration with the Adesuwa African Charity.
Talk about something that affects you and I. And so let the conversation begin now. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are still at the Gender and Sustainable Cultural Practices Conference, organized by the Center for Gender Studies, University of Benin, in collaboration with Adesuwa Africa Charitable Foundation. It is now my honor and privilege to call up our speaker, first speaker for today. I may say a good message, but she will be speaking to us on this topic, gender and sustainable cultural practices. Our speaker today is Mrs. Esosa Ihie, the founder and managing partner at Adesuwa Africa Charitable Foundation. She's ably represented here today by Dr. Shola Okunkpolo. Please, can we put our hands together? Welcome, Shola Okunkpolo, who gender sustainable cultural practices.
Vice Chancellor, sir, Director, and all protocols duly observed. Prof, you are very particular about putting the misses. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be delivering a speech on behalf of our founder, Adesowa Charitable Foundation, in the person of Barrister Esosa Aye. And I was talking about gender and sustainable cultural practices in Nigeria. It's both an honor and a privilege to stand before you on behalf of the Adesowa Africa to discuss a subject that sits at the heart of our collective future: gender and sustainable cultural practices. Culture is powerful. It shapes our identity, preserves our heritage, and gives meaning to our existence as a people. But today, I want us to ask ourselves an important question. Are all the cultural practices we uphold today helping us move forward as a society? Or are they some quietly limiting our growth, especially when it comes to the girl child and women in general? Because while culture should preserve dignity and community, it should never preserve inequality. And that conversation is why we're here today. To properly understand this conversation, let us first define some key ideas. Let's talk about what gender is. Gender is more than biological identity. It includes roles, expectations, opportunities, limitations that society places on people simply because they are either male or female. Culture represents our collective way of life, our traditions, our beliefs, customs, language, social values passed on from one generation to another. And sustainability refers to practices that can endure and benefit society long-term without causing harm socially, economically, morally, even financially. So when we speak about sustainable cultural practices, we're talking about traditions and systems that preserve identity while promoting fairness, dignity, inclusion, and progress for all people, irrespective of location or demography, regardless especially of gender. Because a culture that suppresses potentials and opportunities cannot sustain prosperity. Across Africa, Nigeria particularly, and even within our communities, culture has historically shaped how men and women are expected to behave. We have heard statements like, a woman's place is either in the kitchen or in the other room. Leadership belongs to men. Educating a girl child is either a waste of money or less important. Women should be seen and not heard. And while some may dismiss this as harmless statements or tradition, this is a lot of people's reality. Because statements like this influence, determine who gets educated, who gets opportunities, who gets a seat at the table, who speaks, who leads, who is expected to remain silent. Now let me be clear. Culture in itself is not the enemy. Our culture as a people gives us pride. It's what makes us Africans, gives us identity, language, community, family, values, resilience. A culture is what makes us a village. But any tradition that limits human potential, that silences voices, or creates inequality in whatever way, shape, or form, becomes unsustainable. Because no nation can truly make progress while more than half of its population is denied equal opportunity to contribute. For such,
Haven't you heard that? They'll say women are not good leaders. Is that true? It's not true. We've also heard some persons who question the male folks who tend to find themselves in professions that is female dominated. Sometimes when you hear that a man is a nurse, what comes to your mind? Say, we are having a conversation here. Most times when some people believe the nursing profession is only for women. So when you see a man that is a nurse, they say, there was a day I said, when you tell a man you are behaving like a woman, the man will find it so offensive, and they don't want to hear that you call them. And I said, why do they feel so angry? Say, when you call a woman a man, you are praising the woman. It shows strength. But when you call a man a woman, it shows what? Weakness. So these are things that we all see around. Even in class, sometimes in most of our classrooms, they want to select class rep. Who do they go for? The male. Does that mean that women cannot be class rep? Exactly. Senior prefects in secondary school, most times, who do they go for? Males. So, and that's the essence of this conference, is to make you begin to see yourself as capable. You can do it. And then to create that consciousness that wherever you are, I'm glad we have lecturers here, that anytime we have the opportunity to interact with students, we should always balance it. We should always have both male and female, have equal opportunity for both gender. So you can imagine because from what we see around, some female folks tend to do better academically. I'm sorry to say, but that's what we see. The females tend to do better academically while in school. But what happens immediately they graduate? You see the men flying high in their profession, because the women will just withdraw. They don't push further. You see female first class students, 10 years, 15 years after graduation, she's still in one corner, not maximizing her potential. So I want you to ask questions. Do we have any question? If you cannot, the goal is for you to raise your hands, because we are trying to nurture leaders, future leaders, who can stand. Secondary school students, I want you to ask questions, okay? I want you to ask questions. Okay, we have someone. Please stand. I need another mic, please. Miss Regina, please come forward. You tell us your name and your department, if you are a student or where you're from, and then you go ahead and ask your question.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you very much, ma, for that insightful lecture. My name is Daniel Vilomaro. Actually, I'm a graduate of this school. All right. My question goes this way. I have it typed out on my phone. It says, all right. My question says, how can rural communities preserve valuable cultural traditions while confronting gender norms and practices that limit the rights, voices, and economic participation of women and girls without creating resistance or weakening community identities? Now, just to add to it, why I asked this question, because this whole matter can be looked from two perspectives. The first perspective is from that of the rural areas, then the other is of the urban areas. And if we are to trace the origin of all these, especially that happens in the urban areas, we'll definitely go down to the rural areas where we have our grandmothers, fathers, and the rest of them who have been so much engrossed in a lot of traditional practices. So, looking at that side, how can we, the question is how can we be able to
address them
yes,
without facing resistance
definitely,
or without being deviants,
definitely,
tag deviants?
definitely.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm particularly impressed that a guy is, yes. Okay, so when it comes to cultural practices, a lot of these beliefs are encouraged by misinformation, right? There's a story about a particular battalion in the army who were always going to stand at attention in front of a particular statue. And when a new general came on board and asked, why are you people doing it? The response was, that's how we have been doing it. So part of what perpetuates some of these harmful cultural practices is the unwillingness to change. And then, because people are unwilling to change and there's a lot of misinformation, we are unwilling to let them go. So one of the ways to, without losing our cultural beliefs, is to do a lot of education, a lot of learning, a lot of unlearning and then relearning, right? So we're not throwing away what we have. We're just saying this no longer serves us. For instance, female genital mutilation was a practice that was perpetuated because it was believed that it makes a woman more faithful in marriage and less prone to infidelity. See, but we're seeing across Africa now, they are saying no, that has nothing to do with a woman's choice, sexuality choice. So we have a lot of them, but the moment we do a lot of education, a lot of information dissemination at that level, carrying along traditional and cultural leaders, because the reason why they resist these changes is because they see it as intrusive, as not our customs and traditions. But if the proper education is done, the proper campaign is given, and the traditional leaders who are the custodians of cultures and tradition are carried along, we'll begin to see, as we're seeing now, the erosion of harmful cultures. I hope that answers the question.
Even in her paper, that's why she mentioned that the goal is not to abandon our tradition. And any other question? Any other question? You see, I want to lend my voice to Dr. Okungwolo's voice when she mentioned that some of these things happen as a result of misinformation. In our time when we were growing up, I want to believe it's the same for the older folks here, we didn't question our parents. When they tell us to do something, you do it. You don't ask why. But I have young children these days, when I ask them to do something, they will ask me, Mommy, why? They will ask you why. But you have to explain to them. You can't say because you didn't question your parents in the 80s and you now want to apply that same method to your children, these Gen Zs. It's not possible. Culture, they say what? Evolves. It's just like a student. These days, there are some students who know more. You just have to listen to them and then learn from them, because as culture is evolving, new things are coming up and we have to follow the trend. Okay? So we'll entertain more questions and then we'll proceed. Questions. I've just been informed that there will be a short interlude. We'll have a music interlude, and then we'll proceed with the program. So please, I want to hear, it's a conversation. I told you we are going to, learn, unlearn, and relearn what we already know. So more questions, please. More questions. Mr. McDonald, please give us some tunes. I will be back shortly.
Once again, I welcome you all to this Gender and Sustainable Cultural Practices Conference. Our ancestors, they gave us music and they danced. Up till tomorrow, are we not still dancing? Dancing is part of the sustainable development cultures that we have. So right now, we have a musical interlude.
You see a sing, a little town of Bethlehem. Mommy, you're a hero. I feel sorry, my cause your morning sickness. I dance when you crave blood of giants and candies, but you said no. This now ain't good for me and you. Mommy, you're a hero. You wrap me in my cradle, that's why you sing along the moon. Was the long night I made you tired and busy, but it's alright. I'm doing this for my baby, doing this for my baby. Mommy, you're a hero.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, let's put our hands together for our director. Thank you so much for that musical interlude. It enables us to stretch our legs and then to smile. I did mention earlier that anyone who comes up to ask questions, we have a recharge card for the person. So which network do you use? MTN. All right, so we'll be giving him MTN recharge cards. Let's put our hands together for him. All right, so on behalf of the Center for Gender Studies and Adesuwa Africa Charitable Foundation, we present to him this 1,000 Naira MTN recharge card. Okay, moving forward, if you have questions, you can note them down. We'll also take your questions if you can't come up and
Shash baby like electrolyte. I let a bad man be my kryptonite. But now I see you with my satellite. You think you are something. I tell you say I know but they are really good. If you know you want about me, baby you sweet as very invisible. Inside the house, now I need a fool. Fella, let's see what goes through.
This one is specially for the Sacred Heart students now. Our speaker has just informed me that she wants to hear from you. And the person who speaks, the person who speaks and who speaks the most is going to get 5,000 naira cash. So, come off stage. You're going to come off stage. And I know these days our students are very smart. I'm sure you understood that lecture. Did you understand? If not, we can break it down to your level, because this is, we have students from university and then students from the secondary level. So that's why we are saying ask questions, because we so much believe that you are the future of tomorrow. And the reason you are here is not to occupy space. It's so that you can go with this knowledge, and anywhere you find yourself, you'll be able to speak up and do what is right, okay? Now you're going to tell us your name, and then you go ahead and ask your question.
My name is Ayeta Holiness. I'm a student of Sacred Heart High School. My question is, how can we change harmful norms in our society?
Can you tell us your class? What class are you? Yes. Okay, so your question again.
How can we change harmful norms in the society?
Harmful norms. You want to give us an example of some of those harmful norms?
No.
Can anybody from our school help her? Any of those harmful norms that you think we want to put an end to, that you think is harmful? No, somebody from here.
I think I want to help the student. I think
No, but one of our classmates actually raised her
sorry.
hand.
Okay, maybe when I finish.
Okay.
Some of the harmful norms that I think we should desist from is throwing rubbish all over the place. Like you take pure water, you just dump it. You eat, you just dump it. You just go around the corner and you just find men going around the corner. All these are harmful. So if we can desist from it, because I just came from Ghana, they are far, far more neater than we are on our streets. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That girl wearing glasses. Yes, you are looking at me and I'm looking at you. Yes, you. Yes, you. We want to hear from you. Yes, you can go and sit down. Part of the cultural norms that we must change is not being able to express yourself when you have something to say. Yeah? That's a norm that must change. The only person that can speak for you better than no one else is yourself, especially as a girl child. Are we together? Are we together on this? Are we together? So I would like to hear more girls speak. This is a program to empower the girl child. And I'm particularly interested in the girls from the secondary school, because this is an opportunity for you to be opened up to the world and find your voice early. So if you are unwilling to speak, it's not Christian to be quiet as a woman. It's not unruly for you to express yourself as a woman. My girls, are we together? So anybody wants to ask a question now? Her question led to a question. She said she wants us to eradicate some cultural practices or norms. So I want some of you to tell me some of those norms that you want us to do away with. Yes, beautiful. Thank you.
Cultural norms like child abuse.
Child abuse. Can we clap for her, please?
Treatment of widows.
Maltreatment of widows. Can we clap for her, please? Yes. Quiet, please.
My name is Uyabo Oletan. I am a representative of Sacred High School Ebukum. I am in GSS 3.
Thank you so much, Henrietta. So how do we apportion the 5,000 naira now? Okay. So sister, can we have the account number? So she asked, she said she wants us to do away with two cultural norms: child abuse and stigmatization of widows. And these are two very key cultural norms that are hurting our society. We have a lot of children now who are child laborers, children who want to be in school. On my way to this place, I saw children who have no business being at home, carrying out menial jobs. The United Nations and UNICEF has propounded that children of a certain age should be in school. And so you find people say, oh, the girl child should not go to school because she's going to marry and then have her own family and change her name. That's a cultural practice that has to be done away with. Every child, irrespective of the gender, by international convention, is as of right entitled to quality education. The next thing she talked about is the stigmatization of widows. We see it a lot. A woman loses her husband and then she's blamed for the demise of that person. She's humiliated, she's stigmatized, she's demonized. That's a culture that has to be done away with. Because the stigmatization and victimization of women who become widows have ripple effect on the mental health of their children. So that is a cultural practice that must be done away with. Thank you so much for asking that question. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Another cultural practice that should be done away with is the idea that only women are meant to cook, that the males cannot. As a parent, some parents believe that the female children are the only ones permitted to be in the kitchen, while the male children are to just be in the house, wash the car. Men can cook. Boys can cook. Okay? So we'll continue with the conversation, but before that, I'd like us to move forward to the next speaker for today, and she will be talking on gender sustainable cultural practices and games. We'll be looking at the games of gender and sustainable cultural practices. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Director, Center for Gender Studies, University of Benin, Professor Mrs. Lucy.
Level of burden placed on you.
Yes. And it's not just for the female alone. It goes both ways. I have friends who are male also who are firstborn children too. And sometimes when I get to hear them talk, I see that level of frustration when they talk about
that you don't get to be a child.
Yes.
Right?
You are not even expected to enjoy what it means to be a child.
And then after carrying all of this body, you're expected to get married on time.
On time, yes. Expected to meet people. Thank you.
Okay, someone wants to add to it. Okay. So do we give Amara? Don't go, come.
Thank you.
So do we give Amara a cash prize? So how much do we give Amara? Okay.
Thank you for that. I'm Dr. Morige, and the conversation is really very thought-provoking and stimulating. But the dimension I want to add is that we found out in some families, a female child is one, the firstborn, maybe a female secondborn, a female maybe thirdborn, maybe the male is not the fourth or the fifthborn. And you find that in some culture, they assume that the male is the firstborn. Now, and it's still being practiced. Probably maybe during marriage, the firstborn, the male child, who is not the fourth or fifth, will not choose ahead of the female that is usually the first. But chronologically, by age, the female is the eldest. So how, it's a mismatch somewhere. How will that be resolved? Because it's a challenge in terms of cultural practices in this climate. So that's my take on that.
Second question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Tala, are you taking note of this question? Thank you so much, sir. So let's take the first question. Amara, please give my people your account number. Let's give you no. Let's do 10,000 naira. Because the burden that Amara has shared is the burden of every first child, correct? But let me also say this, if you are a first child here, male or female, raise up your hand. So, all right. So let me speak to you as also a first child. Let me tell you what I wish somebody had told me before I took on the responsibility. And I want you to listen to me with the ears of your heart. Are we together? Are we together? The change we seek begins with us. It means it is not your responsibility. What did I say?
It is not your responsibility.
It means do not, and I say this because I'm also a first child. And I see that a lot of first children do not get to explore their full potentials because of the burden that is placed on them. The only way you can come out of this tradition is to refuse that responsibility. Amara, what did I say? Yes, I had to refuse mine. I am not the parent of my siblings. Now I can help my siblings, then I could not. You cannot help if you are not able. What did I say? So it is not your, see, Prof talked about breaking gender norms, correct?
Yes.
And you can only break gender norms by refusing the things that do not do you good. It means it is not your responsibility. Nobody consulted you. Nobody asked for your opinion on the number of kids your parents were to have. Were you consulted? So it's not your responsibility. Did you hear what I said? Growing up, I have 3 siblings. And I told my mom, they are my siblings, they are not my children. If I choose to support my sibling, it's my choice. I am not I'm the parent of my children now, not the parent of my sibling. And the reason why this culture keeps being perpetuated is you are guilt-tripped to think that you are not enough of a child because you are not taking on what is not your role. We will break that circle by refusing to be burdened. Do we agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Now that is not to say that where you can help, you should not. However, you have my support to say refuse it. There's what they call black tax in the African context. Black tax simply means people placing responsibility on you, whether you are male or female. So maybe I have a business, somebody comes to my office and sees that the business is doing well, and then I become the messiah of the family. Oh, she has money. At the end of the day, the business suffers. The reason why there's pervasive poverty is because you are not allowed to stand, yet you are carrying burdens. That's first. Have we agreed to that? Number 2, if you are a subsequent sibling here, your elder brother does not owe you anything. One of the bases for sibling rivalry is because as the firstborn, they feed your siblings' expectations. No. So if you are a sibling here, your elder brother or sister however well they are doing, they are not your guardians. Have I communicated? Have I communicated? You have the responsibility to protect yourself. The reason why we have pervasive crime is because children have become parents when they should. You are not a parent yet. So, Amara, you have my support to cure yourself of that mindset that it is your duty. It is one of the norms that must change. I won't be here today if I take on that responsibility. I told my parents, no, they are not my children. Now I can help them because I am able. Who listened to that Gege story? Gege said, I never get the money where they break generational poverty. Do we agree with him?
Yes.
See? So Amara, you never get that money. So it's not your role. So they're going to, your parents, and when parents do this, they do this out of ignorance. Correct? No. So your responsibility now, if you don't like the burden placed on you, starts from you also making better choices. With your choice of a partner, your choice of a husband, and then the number of children you are going to have, so that you don't struggle to train one and think that one will train the others. Have we agreed? That is how you are going to break that circle. Beyond saying no. Do we agree to that?
Yes.
The next question that you asked, Doc, is why do we have the imbalance between, and it affects the drive of the girl child. Why do I need to work? After all, I'm going to be relegated. I know of cultures that have ended that. For example, in the West, where I originally came from, a girl child can inherit. It is actually in the order of seniority. If you go to Ondo State, for example, if a king dies, they have what they call, I've forgotten what they call them now. A female child assumes the throne, holding charge until the king becomes elected, because in those climes, they have ruling houses. So you have, what's the name? A regent, right? But you see, because of that, you also see the development in those parts, that women are allowed to thrive. The truth of the matter is that practices like that are designed to keep women small. I spoke some time ago about maternal poverty. It's real. You are a product of how successful your mother is.
Exactly.
It's the truth, whether we like it or not. And customs and traditions such as this is what engenders maternal